You try to bit a saw when you want to cut a tree or tree branches. Try to figure out which saw you can use. This is a straight saw. That works perfectly on straight wood. Can you cut a tree branch with it? Yes, you can, but it is not going to be fun because it is straight. It only touches the branch at the point that's flat or at the line that's flat. So you keep moving in and out. It doesn't do a good job. If you look at the teeth are designed for a very narrow groove, almost a very narrow straight line. So the straight saw is only good for hardwood, flat wood. Can you use this saw? You can, but if you look at the teeth here, the teeth are very irregular. They don't have very diverse directions, so they are going to make a very narrow groove. When you have a narrow groove, you have resistance on both sides. You are going to hurt your hands. This is only for a very sharp cut in a wood surface, flat wood surface. Does it work for a tree? It will work. But if you have a lot of work, this is not the best choice. So a flat, straight saw is not good for trees. We are going to show that on another time when we cut trees. But this is not a saw you can use for cutting trees. The famous hacksaw is only for metal. Look at the teeth are very small, so this doesn't work at all in wood. It's going to make the wood almost as dark as carbon. Only friction, but there is no cutting. So the hacksaw is out of the question. Of course, you can use these two saws, but they are going to be very hard, taking a lot of time, and you are going to lose confidence in a saw. When you have the right choice, you love it. When this is the best saw you can ever use to cut a tree. The curvature, the C curvature, it make it very good in increasing the contact. The more you cut, the more you go in and out. It have very large area of contact. If you look at the teeth here are not like the other ones, are different. Because they are different, they're making a large. If you look very carefully, one tooth is sharpened in my side. If you flip it, the other tooth is sharpened on the other side. So you have like two knives in every one. Every tooth is sharpened in opposite direction to the other one. If you look closely, so this is like having two razor blades cutting in the tree. This is the best saw you can ever use. It has to be a very good C-shaped, because you are going to have another one here. This one is a piece of garbage. This is also a C-shaped, but it is a very flat C-shaped. Give me a hard time. If you look at it, if you look at the teeth, for some reason, it doesn't even work at all. Well, it works, but it gives me a hard time. So I did not like it at all. If you look carefully at the teeth, you might be able to tell what is the problem with this saw. Maybe it is not sharpened. Let us see. Here is one tooth sharpened in my direction next to it. Let us go to the other one. This is a beautiful saw. This one cuts like in the wood. It cuts like a shark. It just choose the wood. I have no idea what's the difference between this one. Let us go back again here and here. Maybe the curvature. Curved C shape, this is not. The difference between them, this one is about $32 or $34. This one is $19. That piece of crap is $19. Did not help me at all. And now, so we talked about the two straight flats that are for flat wood. We talked about the metal saw, the hacksaw. We talked about the C shape. This one will give you a lot of confidence. It cuts the tree, cut a branch. How big is the branch? Yesterday I cut a branch up to 10 inches thick. Of course, if the branch is 2 inches, it's going to cut it very quick. And now we are going to move into the chainsaw. We put this to the side. Chainsaw is fun. Let us go to the parts of the chainsaw. This is the rod that has grooves on both sides around it. In the top, in the front, and in the bottom. Doesn't have here on this side because it's going to be, that is the side where the chain is going to go around the sprocket. If you look at carefully, you will have a slot here. That slot will be going around this rod. And the two slots, one knob in the top and one knob in the bottom. One of them, this is for the tensioning, for this part, for this knob. This is the tensioning pin. Look at carefully, the tensioning pin is connected to this control wheel. If you turn it around, it has a screw inside. It can pull it this way or that way. If you keep pulling it to the bottom, it will pull it this way. If you pull it to the top, it pushes away. And this is connected to the motor. And this is your oil cap. And this is, you fill it with vegetable oil. You open this one to put oil in it. It's brand new, so it does not have oil. You have to lubricate it. And this is the tensioning of the saw. And this is the rotating part that's connected to the motor. The motor is here in the back. And when you hold it from this handle. This is the protection, a shield in the front to protect your hands. And here is your trigger. You push it on the other side of the trigger. Here is the pin that you turn. You have to push that on and squeeze the trigger. And then you release your finger here. It will keep running until you remove your finger. So you have a pin, locking pin, this for turn it on, and a trigger point. And here is your cable, your power cable. The power cable, of course, you just remove this. This is the plastic part. You remove it with your finger, with your nail. It will come loose. This is the cable, and you insert the cable from here, and you hook it around this hook to prevent it from falling when you climbing, when you are holding it. So let us go through it again. That's a trigger, and that is a lock. That's the tensioning of the saw, the chainsaw. And this is the sprocket that is rotating. If you look at it, all these notches, 4 notches four notches will be holding the moving parts of course, when that straightened, you have to have gloves to handle it because it's very sharp all over the place. Of course, we are going to put the chain on the groove, on the rod. We are going to cut the zip tie and stretch it. How do you install the chain on the machine itself? You have to come here closely to know the direction. There is a drawing here. That's the drawing with two arrows. If you look at it, there is arrow on the top that tells you the direction, up and going to my right. There is arrow in the bottom going to my left. And when you look at here, so at least we know now the chain have to be running this way and coming back this way because of the drawing. The drawing is right here. That way. So how do you hold it in a space? There is a cover, this cover. If you look at the cover, there is a knob here. Will go in that groove, in that hole, to the side, like this. If you move it with your hand, remember, this portion, right, this knob, will go on this hole. And that screw will go on this female screw. And the cover will be holding the rod, this rod. This is just a screw, but when you tighten it clockwise, if you look at here, it is just a screw that has the female screw. So that is your male and that is the female. And when you tighten that part, it will hold that rod tight, very tight on the groove. So where does the rotation come from? The rotation comes from this side, that portion will go around here. And that's going to rotate it, so it's going to go this direction. How do you tension it? What kind of tension you put on it? There is a description in the manual that it has to be tight enough such that you can pull it away and it recoils for about 1/8 of an inch, for about 4 millimeters. It has to be the chain have to be tight on the rod. This is your rod, and this is your chainsaw. It has to be tight on the rod. Not very tight enough such that you can pull it 1/8 of an inch. And you have to remember to put the oil. You put vegetable oils, not mineral oils, because you are cutting trees. You don't put thick oils because it's going to stick on the chain. The chain is not going to move, become like a glue, not like oil. That's all the parts. Of course, you have to hold it with two hands. Your right hand have to be here. You are right-handed. Your right hand have to be here, and that's your thumb. That's your lock. That's your trigger. It's the lock and the trigger. And your left hand have to be here. So you have to hold it with two hands. Which means if you are on a tree, you have to make yourself able, both hands have to be free. That's all in that beautiful, and it is light. Like, look at here, it is very light. There's nothing else inside here at all other than the motor, and the motor will have some gears in the system such that it will turn that sprocket. Then We go now to the blades on the saw. How do they look like? They look like almost very similar to this design, but it's more sophisticated. Look at here. Every two teeth are sharpened in opposite direction, in reverse directions. Here they are also sharpened in the reverse direction, but not very close, because this will be running. So if you spread it this way, this one facing the bottom, this one facing the top. If you look at here very carefully, this is facing the top, this is facing the bottom. Put it to the side, just put it that way. If you look here, this tooth is sharpened in my direction, facing me. The next one facing the other way, facing that direction. So where is the cutting surface? The cutting surface is right here. If you look at, that's the cutting surface. So in other way, this one is in this direction, that one in the other direction, so it will make a wide groove. The reason it is wide, the distance between this one and this one is too wide compared to this teeth, is because this one is moving. So what are the other parts in the middle doing? That gap in the middle is correspond to that gap on the sprocket from here to here. So the distance, when you put every part here in the middle, that part corresponds to that dead space. Sharp edge will be hooked to that sprocket this way, so when it moves, it will push the chain with it. And how much tightening you need to do when you put this together, it has to be tight enough to make the rod stable, but not extremely tight.